Welcome to part one of painting a person with watercolors. I'm actually going to use acrylic paint first because I like how it dries and it doesn't bleed into other paint once it's dry. I'm going to use very little paint to do my line work. I'm first going to have more water than paint whenever I paint with watercolors. Even though this is acrylic, and I'm going to start with the eye and kind of do my line work into the eye. I'm using what's called a wet into dry technique, where the paint is the wet part and the paper is dry, and this gives me a nice crisp line when I'm trying to get those details in, like in the iris and the pupil. If I want more of a gray color, I'm obviously just going to dilute the paint a little bit more so that there's more water, even more water than paint. And I'm going to kind of put this eye on one side into shadow more. And if I want a thick line, I'm just going to push a little bit harder. And if I want a thin line, I'm going to not push as hard. And for example, like in the eyebrow, if I want a little bit lighter line, I'll be a little bit lighter touch with the brush. I'll put the nostril in, once again just using just the nostril. There's no lines really in the nose. If I make a mistake, I can use the towel to kind of pick up a little bit of paint and make it more of a, once again, that lighter gray color. I can never really get rid of all of the color that I put down with a towel, but I can certainly lighten it up a little bit. Don't be shy to move your painting around, so when you're painting, so that you can get a better angle of it. And now I'm going to do something called a gradual wash in the ear. There's really no black line in the side of the face, but there is in the ear. And what I'm going to do is put a black line in the dark side and then water on the other side, and let the black bleed into the water, causing that kind of nice diffused gradual gray. And so I'm just going to now paint in the black of her hat. She's wearing a black hat. And all this is just sort of reference work for me for later, so that I know where things go. And I can keep it all quite crisp and clean for later. And I'm not being too careful here. I'm just kind of applying this black kind of wash into the hat, making it kind of all one color. Now what I'm going to do down the bottom is actually use what's called a wet technique, where I'm going to wet the paper first, and then I'm going to take the color, the black, and let it bleed in. And what this will do is kind of give a more even coat of paint all over that one area. If there's areas where it goes where I don't want to, I can use the paper towel to pick up that little bit of area if it bleeds somewhere where I don't like it. Gives it a more even kind of color feel, and if it does kind of not work out, I can still pick it up with that paper towel. I'll use a little bit thinner brush to pick up or to fill in some of the detail areas, and then I'm just going to finish up by doing the top of the hat. And once again, don't be afraid to move the painting around to get that to get a better edge. So there you have it, just all that black line work. And now I'll let this dry, and once it's dry, it won't change at all, and I can paint right into it. So that's the first step in painting a watercolor person, is using the black acrylic paint. So stay tuned for my next video, which is using burnt sienna for the skin color, and I'll actually use watercolor paint. Thank you.